Dublin's North Inner City is one of the most hotly contested local election battlegrounds in the country, with 21 candidates going for just 7 seats. There's only a few days left until polling day, and many candidates are canvassing around the clock. We set out to contact and catch up with as many as we could in the space of one evening, and managed to speak to just under half of the field. In case you missed it, this is part 2 of our trip. 6 candidates down and 4 remaining. At election time, you can't turn a corner around North Strand or Sheriff Street without seeing posters for veteran independent Kristy Burke, with the "One of Our Own" tagline. We caught up with Burke on Seville Place.
It's a Dublin saying, it's a Dublin saying all over Dublin, but in particularly in the North Inner City, it was always like, Asher, he's one of our own, he's grand. But it's not certainly an insult to any new nationality or any new Irish or any up in Cork or Connemara or the Gaeltacht areas. It's just a Dublin saying. It's a catchphrase. It's not meant to offend. If it does offend, I deeply apologise. But look, I am one of their own, and that's the way it is. Well, it's like the Galway plate at the moment. There's 21 runners for 7 seats. There will be 14 men and women who won't make it. Every election makes it tough. Every election, as far as I'm concerned, you have to earn a vote, you have to knock up for a vote, you have to engage with people, and whatever way they see fit in treating you, that's what they do. That's democracy, and that's the greatest thing. But I'm the type of guy, like, I see other colleagues' posters in the windows, I'll knock at that door and I'll immediately look for number 2. And sometimes people go into shock and say, well, I'd really like to give you number 1, and I might,
Just off Ballybock Road was Anthony Flynn, a familiar face to many from his work as CEO of charity group Inner City Helping Homeless.
I suppose over the last number of years I've been advocating on the homeless front. Housing homeless has been my platform. I suppose living in the area all my life, working in the area all my life, I suppose I see what goes on every day within our area, and we need improvements, we need better services, we need better access to community police, and we need better access to education for children and young people. I suppose crime rates, inner city is always looked at as a bad place, and it's always got some bad press over the last number of years, particularly around gangland feuds and stuff like that. Inner city Dublin is absolutely a fabulous place to live, it's a fabulous place to work, and it's a great community. I grew up in it, people that are growing up in it now, they probably need a hell of a lot better representation than what we're getting at the moment, in my opinion. I suppose what we've seen over the last number of years is the same pat in the back politics, party style politics. We need a new fresh face on council, and that's why I'm running. In fairness to those that have represented our area over the last number of years, I'm not saying they've done a bad job, but what we're looking for now is a fresh face in politics. There's been 4 independent seats in this area, won last time. 2 of those candidates moved over to parties, and I left 2 independent candidates there. There's room here for another independent candidate and a fresh independent candidate on council, as far as I'm concerned.
The current Lord Mayor of Dublin, Neil Ring, met us on Bayview Avenue. The 2-term councillor has had to deal with a series of stories about the Mansion House running through its beer allowance in recent months. He's keen not to let it overshadow his campaign.
You get a bit of slagging, but in general people are saying you've opened up the Mansion House to the people of Dublin. I've never regarded it as my house, and it's not an elitist house, and that's what is annoying some sections of the media, that for some reason there's the normal dub going in, there's the handicapped children going in, there's the special needs children, there's lovely people going in there, voluntary groups, I've brought in so many of them. And some local groups, of course, I had 50 people from the local pubs in out of 35,000, and you're hit on that. But look, at the end of the day, it was opened up to everybody. Everybody who applied to go in there was welcomed in there, and I got grief over some of them, and I don't mind that. I had the likes of Gianna Care in, which are a pro-life organisation, and I won't apologise for that. I've had volunteer groups in, I've had Vincent de Paul in, I've had Dublin Bus in, I've had the voluntary workers in clubs in, and I'll open it, and I'll keep open it till the day I finish there. That Mansion House belonged to the people of Dublin. I'm pretty confident that my track record speaks for itself, and that because I'm from the area and I'm of the area, that the people in this area won't let me down. And but we'll see on Friday, and hopefully they'll turn out in big numbers. That's the one thing I'm worried about, because we have a Spice Girls concert, which affects me hugely because it's in my heartland, Croke Park, and people after 5 o'clock are locked into their houses.
Across the road from the Lord Mayor, we caught up with one of the lesser known hopefuls in the area. Joseph McGowan is a comedian with a strong social media following. He's running under his real name on the ballot, but has erected posters of a joke persona, Fintan McCormick, as he puts it, the only man talking sense. Despite this, he says he's driven by wanting to make a difference.
I haven't been knocking on doors. Again, it's not one of the things that, like, councillors go knocking on doors, and I don't understand why. It's intrusive to people's daily lives. They come home from work and you have people knocking on their doors, and if they get elected, nobody goes knocking on their doors then. So I don't even see the point of it. It's just so ridiculous.
So is that your policy? Vote for me, I'll leave you alone?
Vote for me, I'll do nothing, I'll say nothing, everything will be grand, it'll stay the same. I come from the area, I'm from the area. I've lived in the flats, not too far from here, Dunn Street flats, for the last 28 years. And my ma just in the last couple of months got out of the flats. And for the 28 years, there were 7 of us living in a 2-bedroom flat on the top floor. My ma has breathing conditions. There's issues that we should have been out at least 20 years ago. We've gone to councillors, we've gone to TDs, nobody was interested, and I just got fed up and I says, I'll just go to the council and I'll fight to get a house. And so I just took the initiative and I got my man out of there, and it was a lot easier than TDs and politicians might make it out, because the properties are there, and I'd love to be able to do that for other people that are in the same or similar situation to me man. It's a good answer, wasn't it? Yeah.
And that's where our whistle-stop tour around Dublin's north inner city comes to an end. We spoke to 10 candidates on the night, and there are a total of 21 running in the area. In case you missed it, don't forget to watch part 1, where we spoke to 6 other candidates. And, of course, wherever you live in the country, don't forget to cast your vote on Friday, May 24th.